The Anti-Messiah is a figure described in Scripture as one who opposes Yahweh and deceives the world. The term anti can mean both against and in place of, indicating that this individual not only stands against Yahweh's laws and the true Messiah, but also tries to present a false messianic identity. He will promote lawlessness and establish a counterfeit kingdom. Several key scriptures reference this figure and describe the anti-Messiah's role as one who leads people away from the true teachings of Yahweh, encourages lawlessness, and sets himself in opposition to Yahweh's kingdom and Messiah. Let's first look at Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. In Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, it says, "And it speaks words against the Most High, and it wears out the set apart ones of the Most High, and it intends to change appointed times and law, and they are given into its hand for a time and times and half a time." And then in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, starting at verse number 3 and verse number 4, "Let no one deceive you in any way, because the falling away is to come first, and the man of lawlessness is to be revealed, the son of destruction, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he sits as Elohim in the dwelling place of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim." And then also in 1 John, starting at chapter 2, in verse number 18, we read, "Little children, it is the last hour, and as you have heard that the anti-Messiah is coming, even now many anti-Messiahs have come. This is how we know that it is the last hour." And then in chapter 13, verses 1 through 8, this passage describes the beast that rises from the sea, a symbol of the anti-Messiah who gains authority and power from Satan to deceive the world. "And I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads names of blasphemy. And the beast I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his throne and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as having been slain to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the earth marveled after the beast. And they worshiped the dragon who gave authority to the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like the beast? Who is able to fight with him? And he was given a mouth speaking great matters and blasphemies. And he was given authority to do so 42 months. And he opened his mouth in the blasphemies against Elohim, to blaspheme his name, and his tent, and those dwelling in the heaven. And it was given to him to fight with the set apart ones and to overcome them. And authority was given to him over every tribe and tongue and nation. And all those dwelling on the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the slain Lamb from the foundation of the world, shall worship him. The Anti-Messiah often tells us that certain commandments are no longer necessary. You don't need to keep the Sabbath. You don't need to observe the holy days. You don't need to follow the dietary laws regarding clean foods. The message is always, you don't need to do this and you don't need to do that. But when did Paul or the Messiah ever teach such things? A thorough study of Scripture reveals no evidence that Paul or the Messiah disregarded or taught against these commandments. In fact, simple research shows that they never did. The term anti doesn't always mean openly opposed. It can also mean presenting an alternative. In this case, it's not necessarily about being aggressively against Yahweh's laws, but offering a different version of the truth. The Anti-Messiah essentially says, here's Yahweh's plan, but I have a different plan. Those who are anti might think Yahweh says, keep the Torah, but I say you don't need to. Who else would promote such thinking? Satan, the deceiver himself. Torah obedience is often described as a lifestyle of the redeemed, a crucial part of Yahweh's plan for salvation that leads us into his kingdom. To be anti-Torah is to embrace a different plan, one that diverges from Yahweh's divine path. The question we must ask ourselves is, do we want to follow Yahweh's plan, or do we want to follow the alternative plan presented by the Anti-Messiah? We also need to consider what the Messiah himself and Paul truly encouraged believers to do. Was the Torah ever abolished? And more importantly, was it ever intended to be done away with? The short answer is no. The Messiah summarizes this point in Matthew chapter 5, verse 17 and 18 by saying, do not think that I came to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to complete. For truly I say to you, till the heaven and the earth pass away, one yod or one tittle shall by no means pass from the Torah till all be done. And in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 3 and 5, let's turn there. Paul urges believers to distance themselves from any teachings that do not align with Yeshua's teachings. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 3 through 5. If anyone teaches differently and does not agree to the sound words, those of our Master Yeshua Messiah, and to the teachings which is according to reverence, he is puffed up, understanding none at all, but is sick about questionings and verbal battles, from which come envy, strife, slander, wicked suspicions, worthless disputes of men of corrupt minds and deprived of the truth, who think that reverence is a means of gain. Withdraw from such. Paul clearly states that any doctrine that differs from or contradicts what Yeshua taught is unsound. He goes further by instructing us to withdraw from anyone who promotes such false teachings. In other words, Paul emphasizes that sound doctrine is only found in full agreement with Yeshua's words and example. Any teaching that deviates from this standard is not to be trusted or followed. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse number 2 and Deuteronomy chapter 12 and verse number 32 summarizes Yah's instructions. Let's first look at Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse number 2. Do not add to the word which I command you, and do not take away from it, so as to guard the commands of Yahweh your Elohim, which I am commanded you. And then in Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 32, all the words I am commanding you, guard to do it. Do not add to it, nor take away from it. Remember, the main message of the Anti-Messiah is one of lawlessness, encouraging disobedience to the Torah. Yet, the Torah is what leads us into a deeper relationship with the Messiah. To be prepared for the Anti-Messiah, take these steps to guard your heart and walk in truth. First, withdraw from anyone who promotes false anti-Torah teachings. Surround yourself with those who uphold the truth of Yahweh's word. Second, embrace and follow the one true Messiah, Yeshua. He is the way, the truth, and the life, and he perfectly embodies the teachings of the Torah. Third, your salvation in Messiah Yeshua brings the indwelling of the set-apart spirit, Ruach HaKodesh, which empowers you and gives you the desire to obey the true teachings of Yahweh as found throughout the entire Bible. Finally, make a firm commitment to live a life of obedience to Elohim. Remember, this is the narrow way that leads to life. While it may be challenging, it is the path that leads to true peace, blessing, and the fullness of Yahweh's kingdom. Be encouraged as you walk in obedience. Yahweh strengthens and guides you on this journey of faithfulness to his word. Thanks for listening. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insightful content on the transformative power of grace and the profound significance of Torah teachings in our modern lives. Let's continue this journey of faith together. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Peace, blessings, and joy from Dr. Christopher Rogers.